You didn't go anywhere. You didn't work out. You didn't do anything that should have drained you, and yet you are completely exhausted, not sleepy, not sore. Just this heavy, bone-deep fatigue that doesn't match anything you actually did today. Like your battery drained overnight and you can't find the charger. And the worst part is the guilt. Because how do you explain being tired when you did nothing? How do you justify rest when you haven't earned it? So you push through, or you don't, and you hate yourself for it. Either way, the exhaustion wins and you can't figure out why. Here is what nobody tells you. The exhaustion is real, but the source isn't physical. It is psychological, and the difference matters more than you think. You know exactly what this feels like. You've had the day where you wake up already tired, where the idea of making a decision feels like lifting concrete, where even things you enjoy, your favorite show, a friend's message, food you love, feel like tasks instead of pleasures. Everything costs something and nothing refills. And people say just rest, just relax, as if you haven't been still enough, but you've been still all day. That is the camouflage. And here is what nobody tells you. The most exhausting thing a human being can do isn't running a marathon. It is making decisions that feel meaningless. So let's talk about what is actually happening. Because your brain is burning fuel right now in ways you can't see and nobody warned you about. Every day your brain makes somewhere around 35,000 decisions. What to wear, what to eat, whether to reply, how to reply, when to reply, whether to speak up in the meeting or stay quiet, whether that email sounded rude, whether you should have said something differently at lunch. Psychologists call it decision fatigue. The measurable decline in your ability to make good choices after a sustained period of decision-making. But here is what makes it brutal. You don't feel the decisions happening. They don't register as effort. So by 5 p.m. you are running on empty. You sit down to do one simple thing, and your brain says no. Not because you are weak, because you already spent your budget on things you don't remember choosing. And here is what is fascinating. Decision fatigue isn't just about big choices. It is the micro decisions that kill you. The ones you don't even notice making. Should I check this now or later? Is this urgent? Am I being rude by not responding? Can this wait? What if it can't wait? Each one takes a fraction of a second. Each one costs a fraction of your energy, and you make hundreds of them before noon without ever sitting down to work. That is why a day at home doing nothing can drain you more than a day at the office. Because nothing isn't nothing. Nothing is 1,000 invisible choices, and your body keeps the receipt for every single one. It doesn't care that you don't remember making them. It charged you anyway. But there is a second layer, and this one's harder to talk about because it involves the thing you are trying not to think about. Unresolved emotional processing. The stuff your brain is chewing on in the background while you think you are doing nothing. That argument from last week you never resolved. The thing your friend said that actually stung. The decision you are avoiding about your job or your relationship. Psychologists call it rumination. And rumination is one of the most energy-expensive cognitive processes your brain can run. Your brain is running a background program you didn't open and can't close, and it is using 90% of your processing power. And you wonder why you can't focus, why you walk into rooms and forget why you read the same paragraph 4 times. This is why. And the cruelest part is that the body can't tell the difference. Whether you ran 5 miles or replayed a conversation 40 times, your cortisol spiked the same way. Your shoulders are tight, your jaw is clenched, your breathing is shallow. All the symptoms of exertion without a single step taken. There is this weird paradox, though. The people most likely to feel this exhaustion are the same people who look the most idle from the outside. Because they're not lazy, they're flooded. The system isn't underperforming, it is overwhelmed. There is too much input and not enough output, and the whole thing just locks up. That is your brain. Not broken, not empty, buffering processing too many things at once to render any single one of them. Psychologists have a name for it. They call it cognitive overload leading to behavioral shutdown. Your brain hits capacity and instead of crashing, it just stops producing. In real terms, it is not that you can't do things. It is that your brain already did so many invisible things that the visible ones feel impossible. From the outside, it looks like procrastination. From the inside, it feels like being trapped. The engine is running, but the wheels won't turn. And let's talk about the guilt, because most people don't realize that guilt about resting is more tiring than just resting. You see other people doing things, working out, being productive, living their lives, and you are on the couch, and your brain says, "What is wrong with you?" And now you are not just tired. You are tired and ashamed of being tired, which takes more energy, which makes you more tired, and the loop closes. You lie there bargaining. If I just do one thing, I'll feel better. But the guilt already took what that one thing needed. Psychologists call this the exhaustion guilt cycle. The fatigue triggers guilt. The guilt triggers self-criticism. The self-criticism burns more cognitive fuel, and the fatigue deepens. And the only way to break it is the thing that feels most wrong, actually resting, without earning it, without justifying it, without performing productivity first. But here is the thing most people miss. There is a deeper layer, and it is about what your nervous system is doing when you think it is off. Your autonomic nervous system doesn't have a true off switch. Even when you are lying completely still, if your system perceives threat, real or imagined, it stays activated. Financial stress, relationship uncertainty, job insecurity, world events. Your body reads all of it as danger, and danger demands energy even on the couch. Psychologists call it chronic sympathetic activation. Your fight-or-flight system running low-grade in the background, burning fuel, keeping you on alert for a threat that never arrives. In real terms, your body thinks it is surviving something, and survival is exhausting. Even when the thing you are surviving is just your own uncertainty, and you lie there wondering why. But your nervous system ran a marathon inside your ribcage while you thought you were resting. So what actually helps? Because knowing the cause doesn't fix it. You need the exit, not just the map. First, reduce the invisible decisions. Put your phone on silent. Eat the same breakfast. Lay out clothes the night before. Every decision you automate is fuel saved. Second, give the rumination somewhere to go. Write it down. Say it out loud. The loop breaks when the thought exits your head and enters the world. Third, convince your nervous system it is safe. Not with thoughts. With your body's slow exhale, cold water on your face, feet on the ground. And fourth, let yourself rest without earning it. That is not laziness. That is the most productive thing your brain can do right now, because rest is how it recovers. Not rest as a reward for productivity, rest as the foundation. You don't earn rest. You start with it. Everything else comes after. And here is where it all lands. Because this isn't really about productivity or laziness or discipline at all. It is about a world that trained you to measure worth by output, and a body trying to tell you it needs something your mind won't allow. You are not broken. You are not lazy. Your brain did a full day's work before you got out of bed. None of it visible. All of it real. 35,000 decisions. Background emotional processing. A nervous system stuck in survival mode. You were never doing nothing. You were doing everything no one could see. The exhaustion isn't lying to you. Your definition of doing nothing is. Your mind was never still. It was doing everything, silently, without a single break. So be easier on yourself. Not because you deserve a break, because you are already taking one from something that never stopped running. If this hit home, subscribe. I'd genuinely appreciate it. And if you want to support these deep dives, hit that join button to become a channel member. It means more than you know, because sometimes doing nothing is the hardest thing you'll do all day, and you deserve to stop apologizing for it.